Is the FMCG sector set for a muted start in Q3 or not? Let us find out. We had company updates from Dabur, Marico and Godrej Consumers Private Limited, which showed that the volume growth for all three companies in terms of domestic has remained within a range of mid to high to low single-digit growth, whereas in terms of international growth, Dabur has seen a double-digit growth, whereas Marico has seen a mid-single-digit growth, whereas for Godrej, we have seen a high single-digit sales decline, which is a red flag for GCPL if we see. Moving on to the revenue growth for these three, Dabur saw mid to high single-digit growth in terms of revenue. Marico saw low single-digit growth, and again GCPL we saw flattish growth for sales. Moving on to why this is happening in FMCG sector. Why is the Q3 set for a muted start? This is because continued challenges. We are seeing that the demand is under pressure, and in terms of volume growth, we are seeing lower volume growth. The pricing is moderate, and at the same time, the pricing is seen with coupled of cuts. And if we talk about the rural recovery is slower for organized versus unorganized sector. Moving on, if we see the urban demand, the momentum continues. However, there is intense competition from the regional players, and overall also if we see for FMCG sector, margins largely remain unchanged. And then we have made a peer comparison of how various large FMCG sectors are doing. At present, if we see GCPL is running at a very high P of 70.04, then we have Marico at 51.85 and Dabur at 57.89. Interesting to note that ITC has a low P of only 30.17. Then moving on, the other players in the FMCG sector, again Tata Consumers has a very high P of 84.74, followed by Colgate, which is 64.63, and Britannia at 53.8. Again, it is important to note that Imami has a low PE of 38.38. Talking about the revenue of these FMCG sectors, how the revenue is going to perform and what is the CAGR that we can expect in the next 3 years. If we talk about GCPL, the 3-year CAGR stands at 6%. For Marico, it stands as low as 2%, and for ITC, it stands at 7%, and Dabur, it stands at 6%. Moving on, for Tata Consumer has the highest CAGR of 8%. Then Britannia has 7%, and Colgate and Imami has 4% and 5% respectively. So overall, if we see for FMCG sectors, the factors that are lagging down, bringing down the FMCG sector is because of the muted demands, the lower volume growth, the price cuts, and the rural recovery which is not taking place.